Kid tried to flip the motorcycle I'd sold him using my photos. I blew up his phone. 2 years ago, I sold a motorcycle on Craigslist. The guy who bought it was an early 20s guy who didn't bring any riding gear with him. Said he'd left it at home and saw my ad while he was at work. I rode the bike down the street and back for him. He said it sounded fine. Long story short, I let him talk me down $100 because he seemed like a nice kid. I rode the bike to his sister's house for him, had my wife follow and pick me up. The next day it's back on Craigslist. For $500 more than I was asking. Using my pictures. I'm a professional photographer. I've had my photos on magazine covers. I was okay with a shithead kid conning me and flipping the bike. But not with using my pictures. So I sent him a text telling him to take the ad down and post his own danged pictures. He didn't. So, I posted my own Craigslist ad that said something like, "Free chickens and goats. I'm old and tired and I think it's time to quit. I've got 600 hens and enough roosters to keep them laying. Also 40 milk goats. I just want to make sure they go to a good home. First come first served. Se habla español." And I posted his phone number. I waited a day. Called from my home phone at 9:30 at night. "Hello?" He sounded tired. "Estoy llamando por las gallinas." I said. "I'm calling about the chickens. Ain't no ducking chickens." Duck. Duck duck duck. "No chickens, asshole." I waited half a second, then said, "Tienes cabras?" "No duck and goats." He yelled, then hung up. Then next day he texted me. Told me he'd changed the pics and could I please take down the ad for the chickens. I thanked him for taking down my photos, and asked him what the hell he meant about the chickens. Edit. To answer some comments below, the kid definitely conned me, or lied or fibbed or whatever word you'd like to use. I left out that long conversation because it slowed the story to a crawl and wasn't interesting or funny. It was definitely about the pictures. I put a ton of effort into them. Nicely posed shiny clean bike with snow-capped mountains in the background, fill lighting on a bright sunny day, couple of hours cleaning them all up digitally. I've seen worse pics in manufacturers' brochures. Was pretty proud of those pics, and while I could live with the fact that I'd gotten taken, I hated the fact that he was plagiarizing my creative effort. Now to the comments. "Oh, you delightful bastard. 10/10. A perfect 5/7. As good as the Dark Knight? Oh, you're amazing. Teach me your ways. 11/10. Okay, I'll try. Post the phone number of your target on Craigslist with an ad for farm animals. Do you take federal student loans? I've played that game. Put an ad up with my buddy's phone number for free PS4. Told my son to get his grades up or it's gone. Well, now it's gone. First come first serve. If the ad is still up, it's still available. Posted 4 months ago. ProRevenge would have been to register copyright on your images, since you would still be within the 90 days of publication. Then suing the guy for willful infringement subject to the statutory $100,000 liquidated damages plus your attorney fees. Lots of early 20s kids who have to make money flipping motorcycles have the means to pay $100K plus judgments. It's not about if they pay it, it's about when they shit their pants reading the complaint. I think I saw this last week on Craigslist. I sometimes check to see if anyone has chickens in my area. I saw a post saying that the free chickens and goat post had the wrong numbers and to please stop texting and calling. Then a little further down I saw the actual chickens and goats post. Never occurred to me he was being trolled. Good one. OP replied. Last week. Let's see, who else have I told this story to? As a professional photographer, you should know that you could have had his ad removed by filing a DMCA takedown notice, your photos, your copyright, with Craigslist. OP, what you did was cruel and heartless. And I don't blame you. Folks are saying you were dang petty for getting thrown out of shape over some pics. I'd like to bring up the facts. 1. While everyone might reuse pics on the internet, that doesn't make it right. 2. Creative works, like photos, have legal copyright protections by default unless placed in the public domain by the owner. Registering the creative work simply strengthens those rights. They still exist without formal paperwork being filed. 3. OP is a professional photographer. Those pictures are a product of skill, experience, talent, and probably expensive equipment that make this particular transgression personal. I'm willing to bet by putting them on Craigslist you've signed away your rights to the photos. You grant us a perpetual, irrevocable, unlimited, worldwide, fully paid / sublicensable license to use, copy, display, distribute, and make derivative works from content you post. Craigslist terms of use. So, while CL can use the pics any way they want, it doesn't negate your own rights in your pictures, nor does it open the door for other people to use them as they wish. This is probably more suited for r/petty revenge. Thanks for a funny story though. No way, bludgeoned his opponent into submission in like 36 hours. Definitely professional work. Taught him some Spanish in the process too, good on OP. Was quite nice of him not to retaliate in similar fashion with your phone number. Dude was probably too scared about counter-retaliation after getting owned once already. I wonder if you could use a DMCA takedown notice on his ad for using your pictures, which are your copyright. I've been pranked on Craigslist like this. So many disappointed farmers wanting my free goats. So many old women wanting my free lotions. Of course everybody and their dang cousins wanted my Zaxby's coupons. My buddy did a strange version of this. He had to leave a lake trip early for work and was getting a ton of shit about it from a few people, one girl in particular really giving him hell. He made a Craigslist ad about how the aliens were talking to him and he wanted others with the same experience to reach out and talk about their alien experiences. We got some of the best voicemails I've ever heard. Next, consider the charging for such nice photos. If they are in fact a labor, something should reflect that. As a fellow photographer and motorcyclist, I love your style of revenge smile. Is there any way to get caught doing this? Yeah, the cops use computers, you know. True. I guess the safest route would be to drive to a library out of town. The Spanish was the icing on the cake. In case you have to use this again in the future, you should know that hens lay eggs without roosters. Make new hens when the old ones break.